Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to Picking Up the Pieces. I would love to know where you're tuning in from and what the weather is like near you. We went from 70 to snow, and at least the sun is out and the snow is melting, and we will be back to spring. I did not enjoy the tease from Mother Nature. And there are a lot of new people here in Grief Hab. I'm sorry to meet under these circumstances. I'm happy to have a community for you to heal your own way. If you don't know me, if I haven't introduced myself to you yet, I'm Sam Ruth. Dallas is making noise over here. Sassy's in her preferred spot. So Dallas is frazzled and confused because she has one particular place and she's pacing around because Sassy is in that spot. We've all been there, right, Dallas? We've all been there before. Thank you all for bearing with me. My assistant last week, Wednesday morning, the day after the Relief from Grief workshop, had a death by suicide in her family. So things have been pretty up in the air and confused in my business without her. So some emails and some things that happen on that end have not happened. And I don't know how to do that without her. So thank you for being patient. I have done my best to introduce myself and say hello to everyone new. If I haven't done that, I apologize. And I will. And if I don't, it just got lost in technology. Technology isn't my friend. If you don't know me well, you will learn that. Dallas is now standing on Sassy's head. I apologize. That's distracting. I want to talk about progress and how we all beat ourselves up over where we are and where we think we should be. And I've talked about this, but I want to continue to talk about it because it is a theme right now, and all of my clients seem to be having some sort of beating themselves up conversation over these types of things. I'm not doing this yet. I should be here. And I want to use silly examples. For me, it was cooking. I've talked about this. But last week, 2 weekends ago, I was at an event and I stayed with my dear friend Maggie, who I also stayed with multiple times at all of these events we did together in 2019. And in 2019, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep through the night. I couldn't sleep without background noise. And so we shared a room together, and she was so sweet. She let me have Friends on in the background. And so we would sit up talking. We would put Friends on. We would watch. She would probably fall asleep in 3 seconds. I would watch Friends, fall asleep, and then she would wake up at some point in the middle of the night and turn it off so she could get a decent night's sleep. And as we were talking and getting ready to go to sleep on that first night together, she said, "Let me grab the remote." And I said something along the lines of, "I'm all grown up. I can sleep through the night now. I can go to sleep without background noise." And it's little things like that that happen throughout healing that we don't pay attention to, but that are a big deal. I really could not sleep without something. TV, radio, noise, background noise like rain machines and nature noises. And I felt so badly that here was this other person sharing a room with me, and she had to tolerate that type of BS. When you can sleep soundly, background noise is a distraction and might disrupt your sleep, right? So there are all these things that happen along the way that we don't recognize and are signs of progress. And so we have these bigger milestones, whatever it might be for you. Like I said, for me, it was cooking. It was a big thing. I'll start cooking tomorrow. I'll start cooking Monday. I'll start cooking next week, the first of the month, whatever it was. I kept setting this goal and not meeting it. And there were a lot of reasons. And for those of you that live alone, cooking for one, leftovers, wasting food, not having Jim to cook that meal with for, it was a big thing for me. And it was a long time before I was cooking and before I was enjoying cooking and wanting to cook and all of the things that go with it for me. That involved a lot of things that we did together, farmers markets, and a lot of emotions, and a lot of things were connected to that. And so it wasn't just cooking. It was a lot of things that I wasn't ready for that were tied together. And there were all of these other things that I was doing, and I was making progress in other areas, and I was ignoring those things. And so I just want to point out that we can get stuck in that one area, that one thing we're measuring. And we're saying, I'm failing. I'm not doing it. I'm not meeting this goal. And we can not see all of these other things that we are succeeding and making leaps and bounds. And so I have so many clients who can't see their own leaps and bounds and milestones. And I encourage you to ask others, ask me, because when I had this conversation just yesterday and I was able to say, you are not frozen. You are not having nights of terror where you are not just not sleeping, but you are suffering, right? We have been there where it's nights of agony, where it is really, really difficult to be alone, sobbing, nightmares, whatever it might be. Okay, this person was going through distress. And we might not remember that when we feel like we're still in a really bad place. Sam, am I always going to feel this way? Is it ever going to get any better? And we don't recognize that it has gotten 2 to 3 degrees better. 2 to 3 degrees might not feel like a lot when you don't remember that you couldn't keep food down. You were getting sick, violently sick. You couldn't have a sip of water without physically getting sick. You might not have an appetite anymore. You might not be eating full meals, but you're not getting violently sick. So when we're still not feeling great, when we're still grieving, healing, and we have farther to go, and we still feel like we have so far to go, we feel like we've made it one step and we have miles to go, you don't recognize that you've maybe made 18 or 19 steps. So you can ask me, ask others. Also consider writing those steps down, writing those successes down. I have a positive only journal. I have a journal where I vent. I have friends who I vent to. I am not saying I don't get out my venting, but I have a specific journal, positive only, so that in those moments when I feel like I'm not making progress, in those moments when I feel like I have not made any steps, I can look and see, what have I accomplished? And there's a lot in there. There's pages, right? I can see that I am not sobbing in fetal position on the floor. That was real life for me for a long time. I still cry. I absolutely cry, but I do not sob where I literally am curled up in a ball and I can't do anything else. I might have tears, but I don't have to pull over on the side of the road and stay there until I am safe to drive. There's a difference. It's important to have those things to see and look at when we are in a negative place, because when things are yuck, when we are in a negative place, it's harder to see the positive. When things are great, when you're having a decent day, you probably can think of the good things. This is important for when you're having a not so great day. This is important for those moments. I have my positive journal and I also have a jar. And that jar was empty. And I fill it. I tear off a piece of my yellow legal pad. Tried and true, has to be yellow. They make them in white. I have to use yellow because It's just what I've always used. It's what my dad uses, and it's handed down. And I will write down, cried today, but didn't have to pull over. Song came on the radio, cried, didn't have to pull over. Fold it up, and I put it in the jar. And that jar starts to get filled. And I can look at that, and it's a visual reminder, even if I don't have time to pull out the things and read them, or I don't want to pull out the things and read them. For whatever reason, it is a visual reminder that I am making progress and I am doing things to make steps in my healing journey, even on the days I feel like I'm not. And we all have those days, right? You might look at me and think I don't have those days, or other people. We compare. It's the worst thing. We all do it. Compare yourself to you. Don't compare to other people. My journey is mine. It's not yours. And what you're doing might not work for me. So it's not relevant, right? It does not make sense for me to look at what you're doing. I need to compare me to me. And so the fact that I am not pulling over on the side of the road crying in my healing journey is what matters. It's difficult. We can all do that. And we also have to remember that you see pictures on social media and you see little bits and pieces of people's lives. We don't know the rest. And I am open and I tell you guys, I'm struggling. I still struggle. I believe I will. I don't know anyone who doesn't struggle. Even the happiest people have moods, maybe don't get a good night's sleep, right? I just think not everybody shares that stuff. And it's important to recognize that you only need to compare yourself to where you were at. And if you're sleeping better than you were, that's a win. If you're feeling better than you were, right? And if you're feeling worse than you were yesterday, that's not a loss. That's data. That's a clue. That means maybe you need to rest and adjust your schedule and figure out what's up. I take all of that as information and I use it to plan and to figure out how to make my decisions, right? That is how I navigate my healing journey. If a headache, neck ache, my back, all of these things, my anxiety, all of these things are my clues and my GPS for how I navigate what to do. And my plans for last weekend, I was supposed to go to Michigan. Some of you know this. I think most of you do. Maybe I haven't shared it. First, there was a death, my assistant, and that's who stays connections in that whole family. That's who helps with my dogs. That's my world. And then my flight to Michigan was canceled. I'm not supposed to get on a plane. Even if I could have found someone else to stay with my dogs, like that was data and information that I was not supposed to get on a plane. And so I took the weekend to take care of me and get back on track physically, because traveling that past weekend, my back was killing me. So I needed time to recover physically and enjoy my girls and plan some stuff, good stuff coming for Grief Hab, right? Was I disappointed that I couldn't see my family? Of course. Absolutely. But I just have learned to listen to those signs. News with Grief Hab. Kim Riddle is the Grief Hab representative. If you can't reach me, you can reach out to her. She will reach out to you also. And she is just the best support person, team support. She has been reaching out to people without me even knowing, just introducing herself and making sure you're okay and inviting you to the Team Ruthless groups, because she gets so much out of them and she wants to make sure everyone knows that I'm here for you, that she's here for you. If you need to talk, we're available. And she's amazing. And she just wants everyone to know that this is a place where you are 100% supported. And I can't say enough amazing things about her. If you can't reach me, you can reach her. I will tag her in the comments so you know who she is if you don't already. Please let me know if there's something you want me to talk about that I haven't. Let me know. Love you too. Hi. What else you want from this community? It is for you. It is for us. It is a safe place to be you, heal your way, get through this shitty hand we've all been dealt together. So happy Wednesday. I hope that you are having an okay day. I know it could be better for all of us, but at least we have each other. And please join us tonight if you want to be part of. It's not like the other groups. I'm not the best at being salesy. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. We lift each other up. We lean on each other. We do not wallow in our losses. If you want to join us, it's at 6:00 Mountain Time. We are also meeting on Friday for our holiday get together for Good Friday and on Easter Sunday. I'll share more information. I'm not good at that part, but I'm good at being there to get through the holidays together and being there for each other. So also join me later this afternoon. It is the 200th episode of the Be Ruthless Show, and Kate Butler, who is the one and only, she is amazing, and she's going to talk about getting through difficult times in a unique way and how she looks at life and challenges as opportunities. And so it will be a wonderful conversation, and I will share it in the group 10:15 a.m. 10:13 a.m. I don't know what these are. Love you. I will see you all later, and I will share in the group if you can't join us live. Thank you. See you later.